So how are we going to fix up this error message? Well, it's really simple. We're going to use the exact same pattern that we used inside of our container project. So remember, inside of container, we have an index.js file that has an import for Bootstrap. This import statement is called as a function rather than being a kind of standalone import, like so. When we use import in this kind of function form, it's going to load up the Bootstrap file asynchronously. So we're going to do the same kind of thing inside of products as well. By doing that, we're going to give Webpack the opportunity to take a look at what files this code requires to run successfully. And when we give Webpack that process or that ability to see what we need to run this code, Webpack is going to have the ability to load up Faker before we try to execute any of this. So it's all thanks to just putting in that little import statement. Okay, so inside of our src directory, inside of products, I'm going to make a new file called bootstrap.js. I'm then going to open up the index file. I'm going to cut everything out of here and paste it into Bootstrap and save the file. Then back inside of index.js, I will import /bootstrap. Now, I know this might seem like a really funny, really pointless little step. Again, all this does is give Webpack the ability to asynchronously load up the Bootstrap.js file. And because we are loading up that code asynchronously, Webpack has the opportunity in the browser just to realize that before we run this code, we also have to fetch Faker. So let's save both these files, then go back over the browser. I'll then refresh this page, and now everything works. And if we go to our network request tab, we can see exactly why that is. So we can see that we are now attempting to get our main.js file. And inside of our main.js file, we've got a ton of stuff inside of here, but down towards the very bottom down here, we'll see our source index.js. So here's the long line of code. So we've got this import bootstrap.js, and it's that import statement right there that gives Webpack the ability to take a look at the Bootstrap file and understand what the Bootstrap file needs to run. So now Webpack inside the browser understands to get that file, we first need to get a copy of Faker. So here's the load for Faker right here. And then we can actually go ahead and download and run the Bootstrap.js file. Now, if we go back over to localhost 8080 and refresh the page, you'll notice that everything pretty much works identical over here as well. We do have an extra request for Bootstrap. So we are now loading up an additional file inside this container environment. But when we eventually go over to production, we're not going to have quite so many requests going on. Okay, so this definitely looks good. We do have to repeat the same process for our cart as well. If you try to go to localhost 8082, you'll currently see the same error message, because once again, we're trying to make use of Faker before it's actually been loaded into the browser. So back inside of cart, we're going to do the same thing. Inside of src, I'll make a bootstrap.js file. I'm going to cut everything from index.js and paste it into Bootstrap. And then inside of index.js, we'll do an import bootstrap. We then save that. We can now go back over, and at localhost 8082, once again, our cart application works. I want to repeat just for the second time. I know this seems like a kind of pointless little step. It's just about introducing some asynchronicity into loading up our JavaScript code, and that gives Webpack the opportunity to figure out what all of our different files actually need to run successfully. Okay, so now that we've got this all fixed up, I wanted to have a little bit more discussion about how sharing modules between our different subprojects works. So let's go a little bit deeper in the next video.